What up, is Dane here. In this video I'm going to be telling you how to get cut and shredded for summer, man. So I know a lot of people want to build muscle, then lose fat, then look shredded on the beach or in front of their friends or something like that, right? So in this video I'm going to be telling you how to do this exactly. So first of all, I'm going to tell you my story, just a quick little story. I was probably exactly like you, in the exact same position, man. A few months ago, even a few years ago, I guess. You know, I built some muscle. I didn't know how to cut. I cut and I lose muscle, right? I look shit. So in this video, I'm basically going to tell you how to kind of cut and maintain the muscle. So let's get straight into it. I'm making this video because it's a few months from summer, maybe 3 to 4 months. So maybe if you have this information now, you'll know exactly what to do. So first of all, man, we need to understand where you're at. If you're at, say, 20% body fat and you can barely see your abs, then you might have to take a different approach, or if you're quite lean already, you can take another approach. So why am I talking about different approaches? Here's why. And depending on how long you have in order to get the cuts, in order to get the shreds, you need to use 2 protocols. Protocol number 1 is aggressive fat loss, and it says it in the name, right? Like, you're going to lose fat quickly, aggressively. However, that's got more of a chance of losing muscle than if you take the slow route. Hence why you see bodybuilders that always taking the slow route. Because why would you want to do the aggressive fat loss phase if you're gonna have more likelihood of losing some muscle mass? However, there are a lot of factors do come into play, like a protein intake especially, so keep that in mind. So if you're an individual with high levels of body fat, you can't see your abs at all, you might want to choose that aggressive fat loss approach depending on how long you have to get cut. Obviously the aggressive fat loss approach, it takes a lot less time and you will maybe lose a little bit of muscle, but here's why it doesn't really matter too much, because in that time, say you diet for say 3 to 4 weeks and this is real aggressive fat loss, you get your 6-pack. Now that person is dieting for 12 weeks on a slower approach, you've got another like 6 weeks or even more to catch up with them on that bulk to regain that muscle. And as I always say, regaining muscle is so much easier than building muscle, trust me, man. Hence why when someone comes back from injury, they regain in a month's time, they're back to their original state almost. So keep that in mind. Now some steps you can do in order to get cut, shredded fast is as follows. So calculate your calorie maintenance, and when it comes to fat loss, I say this in every single one of my videos, when it comes to fat loss, and you should know this by now, is a calorie deficit. This means consuming fewer calories than your body requires per day. If you don't want to track your calories or anything like this, make sure you have a high amount of lean protein. So that's chicken breast, turkey, tuna, whitefish, these kinds of foods with little fat. Not that fat makes you fat, but just don't want to get too much into that. Just lean proteins, a lot of vegetables, and a lot of fruits, right? Keep vegetables higher than fruits, I would suggest, if you're not tracking your calories, because you can sometimes overeat on fruits a little bit, so keep that in mind. Now once you have your calorie maintenance, and we do this by doing 15 times your body weight in pounds, that's your calorie maintenance. Now we minus 500 or even minus 300 if you want to take the slower approach. Remember, the slower approach is if you have a lot of time to lose this fat and you really want to minimize the muscle loss, you take that. Or the faster approach, like I already said, that you might lose a tiny bit of muscle, however there's still a lot of time to regain that muscle back, so keep that in mind as well. However, minus 1000. So once we have the calorie maintenance, that's up to you, that's for you to decide. Minus 1000, you really want to go the aggressive way, or minus 500, you want to go the slow approach, right? And there's benefits of both and there's cons of both, of course. When it comes to protein intake, you need to keep your protein intake about 1 gram per pound of body weight minimum on a slow approach. And when you go for the real aggressive approach, you do really, and I do recommend people have a 1.2 gram of protein per pound of body weight, right? You can probably get away with 1, you certainly can. However, 1.2 grams, there's no harm in that, and in fact protein does provide satiety, right? Hence why if an overweight individual would come to me, I suggest a higher protein intake, even though individuals with higher body fat percentage actually require less protein. Protein provides more satiety. So that's step number 1, calculate your calorie maintenance. Step number 2, your protein intake. Now for training, in order to minimize this muscle loss when you train, it's real important. Don't worry too much about that carbs and fats, those ratios. The most important thing is your energy balance and your protein intake, and then third, your training, right? So when it comes to training, when you're doing the aggressive fat loss approach, which I'm actually doing now for say 1 to 2 weeks, just to lose more fat, because I always have a 6-pack year round, and I've just made a video on that if you want to check that out. You can go the aggressive fat loss approach, but this approach, like I said, higher protein intake. The training does vary a little bit on this as well. So you want to reduce the training frequency, meaning how many times you train per week. You really want to reduce this when it comes to fat loss. This myth of high reps, getting the pump, when you haven't got enough nutrients in your body to, you know, supply this shit. It just doesn't make sense, man. When you have not enough nutrients, you really want to focus on maintaining the weight on the bar. Excuse me. As natural lifters, an indicator of the amount of weight on the bar is basically an indicator of your muscle mass, right? So if you go on an aggressive fat loss approach, the strength will gradually decrease depending on how low your body fat levels are. If you're probably 12% and below, your strength levels will definitely start decreasing a little bit. However, if you're in a higher body fat level, your strength shouldn't really increase that much at all. So just keep that in mind. Now, what do? Reduce the training frequency, meaning how often you train per week. Say you train 6 times per week, we want to reduce that to 3 because we haven't got as many calories per day now. Now, when we train, we want to follow maybe full body workout. However, you can follow an upper body, a lower body, rest, maybe rest 2 days, then an upper body, a lower body. Now, when you try to maintain this muscle mass on a diet, when you cut, you want to really think about the following. Maintain this amount of weight on a bar for the same amount of reps that you did when you're in a bulking phase or maintenance phase, right? You really want to maintain the weight on the bar. Don't worry about chasing a pump too much when it comes to maintaining muscle, right? Of course, if you do that metabolic type work like chasing a pump, it'll probably burn more calories, but that's not what we're after, right? We don't really want to burn more calories, we want to maintain more muscle. What's the use of burning more calories and losing more muscle, right? It's like a win-lose-lose effect, right? So we don't want that. So like I already said like 3 times, really maintain that weight on the bar. It's a great indicator for a natural. Reduce the training frequency and increase the intensity, meaning work in a rep range of about maybe even 6 to 8 is quite high, but I just stick around about 5 reps, really trying to still maintain that strength. That's so important. Now when we go to the slower approach rate, for the people that are taking that route, you don't need to decrease training frequency as much because you still have sufficient nutrients to train more often. However, I probably recommend a 4 to 5 times per week. You can even go like 6 times per week, maybe a pull push leg split. Rest is a good way to do this. Now, when you do this, as we still main focus when it comes to maintaining muscle mass on a cut is having that weight on a bar, right? If this weight on a bar starts dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping after a few weeks, you really want to start changing something or just get off the cut, right? Because you're just going to start losing more and more muscle mass. So keep all this in mind. Now, this is basically how to get cut and shredded for the summer and maintain all your muscle mass, because a lot of people can certainly lose this fat, but a lot of people don't have the skill in order to maintain the muscle. Not that it's actually that hard and that much of a skill. If you just know, maintain the weight on a bar, have a really high protein intake, and high protein intake is not going to give you some kidney damage or some shit unless you're consuming maybe 5 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which will probably exceed your calorie intake anyway. So high protein intake, weight on a bar, and eat in a calorie deficit. Those are the most important points. Most important one, calorie deficit for what am I stuttering, man? Calorie deficit for fat loss. Number 2, maintain that weight on a bar for muscle mass, maintaining that shit. I've said it like 10 times. And number 3, what was number 3 actually? Maintaining weight, protein intake, weight on a bar, and calorie deficit. That's the one, protein intake. Finally got it. So anyway, that's the end of the video, man. If you enjoyed this long ass video about getting cut for summer, for shredding, whatever you want to call it, subscribe down below. 3 videos a day coming at you. Comment, stay positive, stay smiling, and as always, let's get shredded, man. Or at least,